Hello, Midofapa. Welcome to After Village Kitchen. If you're on here and you're joining me live to cook this goat meat jollof rice, say hello and let me know you are there. I will be speaking English mostly for the benefit of people who are not Ghanaians, and even if they are Ghanaians, they may not understand our language. But but if you okay, let's see, instead of just watching my okay, hello Belinda. Do I know you, Belinda Cerebro? The name Cerebro is somebody I've known years ago, but I don't know if you're related. Hello, welcome. I hope you're doing really well. So I'm going to cook this goat meat jollof rice because you know what? It's Bank Holiday Monday, Easter Monday, and it is my third son's birthday. So yes, he loves jollof rice, and we are going to let me just show my face. So yeah. So yes, he loves jollof rice, and we are going to cook some goat meat jollof rice to treat him this afternoon for his birthday. So yes, join me as I cook. I'm going to go through my ingredients for you to know what I'm going to use. Some of them I've prepped so that it's quick for us to cook this jollof rice. But if you watch my other videos already on the YouTube channel, you find how I make my jollof rice, and I'm using the same process. This time round, I'm going to mix in the goat meat. So yeah, let's cook. Let's put this back on. So yeah, back on. Feel free to ask any questions. The reason why I try not to disturb, sorry, this always happens my face, and I try to position everything back on, and then we have this hat out is not proper. With me whilst I get it sorted. Okay, so it looks like its orientation is locked. Let's see. Okay, I think we should be fine. So yeah. Yes, Belinda, yes. Hello. Okay. Possibly, who knows? This world is it's such a big place, yet very little. So yes, I'm going to go through my ingredients for our jollof rice, and it's a goat meat jollof rice, so definitely goat meat is on live. So I've got my goat meat, which I seasoned and boiled. I seasoned yesterday. It was the seasoning I used was just really easy. I couldn't be bothered to actually do the onion mixture blend. I was tired yesterday. Yesterday was a hot cross bun, it was a baking galore. Hot cross buns, my kale and carrots scones, because I had that chaff from my juicing and I wanted to use it. I didn't want to throw it away. And what else did I do? I made some cake. So I was too tired to actually go through that onion, ginger, garlic, basic onion mixture for seasoning. So it was just straight on with my dry spices. I used a 10 spice blend and my 7 spice blend, some salt and some bottled ginger that I bought from the shops. So it was that simple. Seasoned it yesterday overnight, and this morning I got it on fire, steamed it, and here we are. So here's the stock from from the goat meat, and it's actually mixed in with stock I had from my lamb. That I made, roast lamb I made yesterday. So it is going to taste so good. So, and then this is my tomatoes that I have simmered. When I'm making jollof rice, I use plum tomatoes and passata. I'll just show you. I meant to take it out. Okay, so for my jollof rice, I always use plum tomatoes because I think it gives it a really good flavor. So I'm using two of this and one of this passata. You can buy, there are different forms. I buy this little if you're in London. I buy this one because I find it really reasonably cheap and it is good. So yeah, plum, and use good quality ones. It is good. So two of that and one of that is for my quantity of jollof rice here. And I simmered it down. I have the whole process of how I do this on the channel. So just find simmering tomatoes and you see how I do it. It's really, really easy. It didn't, I don't know. I just got up in the morning and put it on fire. And by the time I finished with everything else, it was ready. And that's how easy it is. And I use the same process for my wache stew, tomato stew that I want lots of flavor. I simmer it down and it cuts down the cooking time, plus it gives it more flavor and the rich red color we want. So this is fat from my lamb stock. So I'm going to scrape this off as well. See, sometimes you don't want all of that fat in your stock because it's just all oil. But on this occasion, I'm going to use this fat to fry as my oil to fry my goat meat. And of course, we are making stew, so I need onions. So I've got one kind of large onion and one small onion. I'm going to use the small onion. I'm going to slice it and fry it with the meat. But this one, I am going to blend it and use it as my onion mixture. I haven't got any herbs. I love to add herbs, fresh herbs like sage, rosemary, thyme to my onion mixture. But I haven't got some at the moment. But it is not a big deal for me because this stock here has all of that. I used some of the fresh herbs to season my lamb. So it is mixed in here. So it's going to make up for it. And of course, pepper and some garlic. So I've got some frozen garlic here and my ginger. So I'm going to use this ginger instead of fresh ginger. Okay. So I'm going to start off by blending my pepper and my onions, just cutting it up. I hope it's in view. I'm just cutting it up so that it is nice and small for my chopper to chop it up. I'm using my small one, so I don't have to blend a bit before I add some more. So if you have questions, that's why I'm on live here. It's not a recorded video. You can ask the questions. There'll be a break when we have to wait for something to cook, and I'll check and answer your questions. So feel free to ask the questions. So I'm going to blend this a bit. So to blend, I'm going to use oil, okay? Because I have simmered my tomatoes. I'm trying to quicken the whole process. I don't want to be adding water, which would, take time to fry. All right. So, yeah, I use oil, but I'm going to be really mindful of how much oil I'm putting in here because I'm going to use oil to fry this the goat meat, and I want to use the same oil to cook the jollof rice. So I'll try and be careful with how much oil I use. Okay, this has gone down a bit. I'll add the rest of the onions, and then I'll start firing up my pot. I promise you, I will move it. I will move the camera forward so you can see. Oh, I forgot to talk about the rice. We can't, of course, we can't have jollof rice without rice. So I've got my rice here, which I'll be rinsing in the colander. Okay, that's what I do. And I'll be getting my hot water boiling to quicken the whole process. But when we get there, I will let you know at what stage I'll be getting that sorted. So this onion is just going to fry with the goat meat. So just slices. The goat meat is smelling so good. You won't believe that I just used two spices, very simply, some salt, and it's smelling amazing. So I'll put this on the side so I can move my camera forward for you. Okay, so let's get that. So I'm using a big pot. Okay, this pot is big, but these are things. This is how when I'm cooking jollof rice. Yes, I use my biggest pot, depending on the amount of rice. Even if you need to be a bit sensible, but I use a pot that will help my rice to cook and breathe. And I will always encourage you to do that because you need it to be able to have that room to kind of, marry with the flavors and just, do its own thing. It will be cooking at the bottom, and then the flavors, the environment at the top is just mixing up nicely. Okay? I hope you understand. Food is it's an art, okay? It needs a lot of tender loving care for you to get the best out of it. So sometimes when you rush your food and it doesn't taste good, you know why, because you rushed it. It doesn't want to be rushed. So I'm going to, I want to use this fat from my stock. It's oil. It's oil, so it's good and it's got a lot of flavor. So why not? This is one of, usually I would say if you're really checking, being very healthy, don't, if I was keeping the stock in the freezer for use in dishes, I'll scrape off this fat and throw away, or freeze it and use it in dishes like this. Jollof rice, when you're eating jollof rice, it's got to be good. So give it all the love and care you need so that it can cook beautifully. It can cook beautifully. So I've got that. Because there's a bit of water in, I'm just trying to let that water simmer off nicely. Hello, I see a comment. I think I should have a way to check back on the comments. Oh, I'm so used to oh yes, I can. I can see your comments. Good morning, see Equia. Oh, I hope you are in New York. My goodness, I hope you are. You are keeping safe. It's so scary what we um, hear happening in New York. So I really hope you are safe and you are keeping well. All right, so I have topped up my oil because I'm going to use this oil to fry my goat meat, and I'm hoping to use the same oil to kind of cook my jollof rice, but I will make sure that it is not too much that my jollof rice will be too oily. So yeah, I think you can see in here really well. So if you just joined in, I said I pre-seasoned this overnight with After Village Kitchen's 7-spice blend and 10-spice blend and salt plus some ginger paste. That was all. If you, I mean, you can use any spices of your choice. For me, these two spices do it for me, okay? Or you can even go through that onion, ginger, garlic mixture with some pepper, and that will work beautifully with some herbs. That will work really beautifully. Fresh or dried will work really well. But I used what I had to hand, and you know what, I was tired after making all that baking. I baked cake, I baked hot cross buns, I baked some scones. So yeah, yesterday was quite busy. So basically we need to wait for this goat meat to fry. Please feel free to ask your questions. All right, I'm on here live so that you can ask questions that you find. Sometimes you're like, everybody says they watch videos and they can cook a perfect jollof rice, but I'm still struggling. What is the matter with me? Why am I not getting it right? So this is an opportunity for you to ask the questions. I'm here to answer your questions, okay? And well, if you're still feeling shy to do that, I do give private lessons. I actually have physical cooking lessons for jollof rice and for others. I had one scheduled for May the 25th, but I think I'm going to change that to be an online class. So if you prefer to join that online class, do watch out for my post on when and how to join, okay? But feel free to ask the questions now, okay? Nobody's watching. So yeah, we need this to cook. For spice, you can ask me about spices. I don't know, whatever you want to ask. So what I'm going to do is get my hot water boiling, because once the stew gets cooking, it will cook really, really quickly. So yeah, and then the rice also washed. But before I do that, I'm going to remember I cut this onion, and I said it's going to fry with the goat meat. It just adds flavor, okay? This step it's optional, but when you want flavor, I will say do it. Just adding that just elevated the aroma to another level. You should smell my house. It is smelling good. I'm feeling hungry already. So normally I don't like to fry my meat till it's really hard. I know some people like it that way, nice, hard and crunchy. You know, I kind of like my meat a bit soft. So I'm just looking for some brownness on all sides, and that will be it. So I'm still blending my onion mixture. You know what? I'm going to move it on to my bigger burner to move things quickly. We haven't got all day here. Have you guys got anything planned for the day? Oh, you can still see in there, so that's good. What's happening? I mean, now that it's not like we can even go out and have, our normal barbecues on a Easter bank holiday Monday. So yeah, what are you doing on lockdown? I am just it's my son's birthday, his third birthday today, so we are just trying to make it a little bit special for him by making him some jollof rice. He loves jollof rice. He loves his main foods that he knows. I think he knows are rice and soup and jollof rice. So whenever he's hungry, he's like, rice and soup? Oh, jollof rice. So yes, I'm making him jollof rice and I'm baking a cake for him. I've baked the cake. Let's give you a peep. So that's the cake there, waiting to be decorated with my frosting. Okay, so once I get this jollof rice going, then I will move on to the to the cake. And then we're having just a mini barbecue for the adults really. Hey, but my little boys, my other boys can eat meat. Yeah. But it's for the two of us really to enjoy a bit of what's it called? Kebabs and burgers for them. So yeah, the kebabs, I've seasoned it already, and it was really simple seasoning with suya pepper, my 7 spice blend, 10 spice blend, and some salt. That was it. So nice and easy. So I'll move my pot closer so you can see what's going on here. I just wanted to brown just a little bit more, and that will be it. Feel free to ask your questions. This is the time I can use to answer any questions you have. Or if you prefer, like I said, and you just don't feel comfortable asking questions on here, I have a cooking class, and I'm going to have a virtual one instead of the physical one, and it's going to be really cheap, really, because virtual one, you're not taking the food home, so yeah, it's going to be very reasonably priced. So you can, ooh, that just went pop. Okay, I think we are just about there. Okay, so I will move it closer and you get to see how the brownness, you can make it browner than this, but I like it this way. I don't want it any harder or browner than this. So I'm going to remove it with some of the onions, because when I put it back into the rice, all this nice caramelized onions will, you know, go back into the rice, and it will just be beautiful. It will just taste good. Okay, so it's okay to have some of the onions left in. It's fine, because we are going to add in our onion mixture, which is onions, pepper, garlic, and ginger. I use one large onion. Okay, so I need to rinse out my pan with just a bit of water. I don't want too much water to slow down my cooking process. So you don't want to lose any of this onion. This smells good. I think if you can see my other, if I have it on the other bed, I will prefer to use this because it will move it quickly. I'll just move my camera a bit closer. So I'm just adjusting the height. Yes. You can see what's going on. So you see that when I fried the goat meat, it looked like the bottom was bent, but now it's not. So that's all flavor that has, gone back into my stew, and it's going to make it tasty. Nothing but tasty. All right, so I'm letting the water, that little bit of water that I added, just simmer out of this. And I'm going to add in just like 3 minutes, and I'm going to add the spices that I use. So I normally use bay leaves, dried or fresh. Works really well. I love fresh. So when I have it, I use it. And sometimes I blend the bay leaf into the onion mixture. I blend it with the onion mixture. But I forgot, so I didn't do it. But yes, that's one tip. So what I'm adding in here is curry powder. And the spices you need for jollof rice, if you don't have anything else, you should have some bay leaf and some curry powder in there. It is a must. You should. Okay, it gives you a lovely taste. So if you don't have any spices available, try and have some bay leaves in there. The other spice I'm going to add in here is After Village Kitchen's 7 spice blend. So that's this one. So this has rosemary, it's got a kitten kitty, which is aniseed, it's got white pepper, black pepper, still a bit of curry. So this jollof rice is kind of, dosed with, or what's the word to use? It's having lots of curry in it, curry powder, and it's got, what else have I got in here? Ginger, garlic, onion, cloves. So if you said didn't use a lot of spices, but it looks like I've just used 2 blends, yet the spices in here is, I don't know, maybe 20 spices in here in total. But it's looking so easy because I don't have to grab this and grab that to blend, and I like easy stuff like this. So you see, it's already done. I think it's still a bit, I can't really see in here. I like this burner, but it's just that you can't see much of how things actually look. So now that it's cooked quickly, bringing it back on here again, and then now my burner decides not to work. Okay, so you can see, this is what I'll do, so you can see progress. Yeah, you can see that the oil, there's no water, and this is how it looks. This is how it looks. That's what we want. You want this to happen before you add in the simmered tomatoes. The tomatoes has been simmered. So you put it in and basically give it, I normally give it, well, when I'm in a rush, I'll let this simmer for about 10 minutes for all the flavors to marry a bit, and I'm adding in my rice. But when I have time on my hands, and let's say I'm doing something else whilst I'm preparing this stew, I can let it, fry for 30 minutes, 45 minutes. The more time you give it, the better your stew will taste. And as you can see, I've not added any salt yet, because salt is the last seasoning I use to bring out all the flavors, because sometimes we add too much salt at the beginning, you add all these other extras, and by the time you realize your food is too salty. Okay, and I'm going to use stock, so I'm going to bear that in mind as well. I have a stock that I used for my goat meat and my lamb yesterday, my roast lamb yesterday, so that is full of flavor, lots of seasonings, and lots of salt. So look how easy it is to make stew. Once you have some things prepared, it is just so easy, and you get a flavorful stew. And the great side to this is, or the great thing to this is, oh my gosh, there's no salt, but there's lots of flavor. A bit of salt will just bring everything together. It's tasting good. It is tasting good. So yeah, I need a bit of salt. So whilst this is going, I'm going to add in my salt. This is a point where I add in the salt, and this is a point where I would say add in quite a bit of salt, over season it. But this time I'm going to be really careful not to over season, because I'm going to add in stock. So this stock has salt already, so yes, but if you're not using stock, then over season it with salt, because you're going to add in the rice here, and the rice will just soak up all that salt. It will soak up all that salt and all that flavor. So don't be afraid at all to be a bit heavy-handed. This stew is good. It's good. Yes, I think I was saying that I was talking about when you use the method of simmering the tomatoes. You see, normally if you're used to making tomato stew and your whole cooker is splattered with tomatoes, yes, it does cut out that process. Right now, this stew is ready. If you've got some rice, you can just eat, and it is tasty. And I use this same method to make my water stew, and it's really, really tasty. So I'm getting my rice washed. And my water bowl. So rice washed, water bowl, because we don't want anything to slow down our jollof cooking process. Okay. So you really need, oh, I don't want to disturb my camera, otherwise I would have turned my camera to see how I wash the rice. Basically, I'm just washing it in the colander and making sure my water starts, you know, when you're washing rice, it becomes cloudy. So yes, I just wanted my water to run clear before I stop, and that's basically all that I did. And see, my stew is ready, nice and tasty. I have seasoned it with salt, and it's ready for the rice. You can hear my kettle boiling. I don't know how many minutes I've been on here already. 37 minutes, and the stew is ready. I don't know, I haven't cooked jollof rice using that long way with the tomato, blending the tomatoes and putting it in here. I don't know, for maybe over 15 years now. So I can't even tell how long that takes to get to this point. But I'm very sure, and if I can remember well, it would have taken hours to get here, and by maybe an hour, I would say, and by after 45 minutes, you're feeling, you know, impatient. You just want to get the stew to be done and to add your rice, and your stew is not cooked properly, and you don't achieve the flavors you want. And you're complaining, oh. Look, I hated cooking jollof rice, so if I am giving you these tips now, it's from experience. I've asked friends for different methods they use, and they've given me tips. I've used it, it didn't work, and then I developed my method, this method, about, I would say 15 years ago, and it has worked for me every single time. It sometimes, depending on the kind of rice, the kind of tomatoes I use. If I'm using what I normally use every single time, I am sure to get good results. But if, let's say, I happen to be in a different country, different place, or I don't even get the same ingredients that I get, and I don't understand the ingredients, then a change would happen, okay? A change will happen, and I will not have the same kind of results. But it is always a learning curve for me every time when I use slightly different ingredients, because you learn the quality of different ingredients are different, and they will give you different results. So I hope you can see in here. I don't know if the light, oh, this is better. Okay, so I just want to cover this and let the flavors coat and cover the coat the outer skin of the rice and just seeps into the rice, and that is what will develop your flavor. If you don't give it this little time, it won't work. All right, so I don't know if we can stay on here till the jollof rice is actually cooked through, but we are almost at that point where we'll have to leave the jollof rice to kind of, once we add the water, we'll leave the jollof rice to cook on a gentle heat. So I will do that when it is on a gentle heat, and then we'll call it a day, and maybe I'll show you pictures. I'll explain what else I'll do at the last minute, or let me know if you want me to come on live to show you my final stages, because the final stages is when I'll be adding in the goat meat. So yeah, if you think you want me to do that as well, let me know in the comments. So yeah, you don't want it to burn too much. At this point it's okay. I'm going to add in my stock. Okay. I think the stock is quite a lot that is going to, it will even be enough to cook this rice. I'll use all of this actually, and I'll just top it up with just a little bit of hot water. So the other tricky part of cooking jollof rice is knowing how much water to use. It all depends on your rice. You need to know and understand the type of rice you're using. If you cook it on normally, you should on just normal white boiled rice, then you use maybe one. I mean, you should know your ratio of how much water you need to cook it on a normal day, and then you kind of cut it a little bit, the water a bit down when you're cooking jollof rice, and especially when you're looking for that result of a single grained rice. Okay, you would want to use the steam to cook the rice. So I'm going to have a taste for the salt, because now I've added in my stock. I think just a tiny bit of, just a tiny bit. I can even do without. If you're on a low salt diet, you can even actually do without any extra salt. Okay, so I hope you can see how the texture, this is good, but my heat is too high, so I've turned it right down at this point. I'm just adding just a tiny bit of hot water, and this is probably all the water I'm going to use to cook this rice, because I'm going to use the steam to cook my jollof rice till the end. So this is how, if you're going for a single grain texture and looking to use steam to cook your rice, this is how it should be looking. Not filled with water to the top like you cook your normal rice. So I'm going to let this, I think will be fine, so I can be on here. Ask if you've got questions, please ask. I will answer. And I'll keep this on this burner because I want the water to simmer into the rice, and then I'll cover it with my parchment paper. Move it to my smaller burner here. So I always take it down to this smaller burner here. It is the smallest burner on the lowest setting, and I just let the rice cook gently. You really need this. All right, so I will turn things around. really tricky. Okay. All right. So I'm trying to get my camera so that you in a position that you can see me, and I'll check if you've put on any questions on here that I need to answer. Let's see, where are the questions? Oh, see, Akua, I work in the hospital, but we are keeping as safe as possible. Thank you. I hope you and your family are well. Oh, wow. Well done, you. I know it's quite, it is quite, how do I tell? Okay, let's get the camera down a bit. It is quite scary to be going to work in such times. You're like, you don't know what will happen when you go every day and then you come back home and you're putting your kids or your family at risk because you can pick up anything. So yeah, well done for your braveness, and yes, thank you so much. We need we need people like you, very selfless, to help us bring this pandemic to a controllable situation. All right. So I'm doing well. My family, we are doing really, really well. We are keeping safe, staying at home, only going out there for essentials, and that's basically it. So yeah, all right. So I just moved my, because I can smell that it is burning. So I have moved it to my smallest burner because I don't want any rice to burn. Well, I'm not going for cancer. There are days that I go for cancer. So yes, we allow a bit of burning to happen. But today I just want to make sure I have all the rice. Yes, as much as possible. Maybe a little bit of cancer will happen, but not too much, because otherwise we waste the rice. So I have moved it to my smallest burner, and I'm going to cover it with parchment paper. This step is very, very important, and I will encourage you that you do it. Okay, it's very, very important. Trust me. So I will turn my camera around, and I'm getting my parchment paper. I've got cling film instead of parchment paper. So yeah, my parchment paper to cover it. So yes, let's see how we turn this around again. So the goat meat will go in, let's say, the last few minutes when the rice is fully cooked, and you've got like you've got like 15 minutes to get it off the fire, or maybe I'll say 10 minutes. 15 minutes is a bit too much. So yeah, when it's about that time, then you add in your goat meat. So yes, this is it. I hope you can see. Not too much oil. I was a bit worried that my oil will be too much, but I didn't have to skim off any oil. If you find that your oil is too much, by all means skim off some oil. I recommend that. I don't know, personally, I think when you are eating jollof rice and it is too oily, it is not nice. It takes the joy out of eating it. I don't know, it's just I find it a bit difficult to eat jollof rice of that kind. So I tend to make sure my oil is quite balanced. And if you don't have too much oil, sometimes I'm like, yeah, we are going healthy, so I'm not using too much oil. And then nobody is eating the jollof rice because it is not as delicious as when you've got the oil in there and has fried the rice nicely. Okay. So at this point, you can see if I had not moved it from my biggest burner to the smallest, it was starting to catch at the bottom. Okay, it was starting to catch at the bottom. So this is on the lowest heat. There's quite a lot of moisture in here. It is a lot of moisture to cook this rice to perfection. The rice is still hard. Let's try. It is still very, very hard. But at this stage, oh, the taste is good. At this stage, don't be scared or you start worrying and then you want to add in more water. No, this is the trick. Add your parchment paper or cling film will do. Some people use plastic bags that it's nice and clean and they use that, but I tend to use my parchment paper. Ooh, wow, that steam really got me there. So basically you want to seal it. Okay, so I always take it down to the rice itself. It's boiling, but it's on my lowest heat and I just cover it. At this point, I just let the heat do its job. I will not touch it for the next maybe 30 minutes because it's on the lowest heat, so it's not going to burn. And yeah, so I'll come back 30 minutes later, stir it, check if it's nice and soft. If it's nice, and which I think it will be, then I'm good. There's nothing else I need to do. So that will be it. And I will let it, I'll remove the parchment. If it's too soft and I don't want it to soften anymore, then I take off the parchment paper. So I'll take off the parchment paper and I'll let it cook like that for the last couple of 10 minutes. And that's when I'm going to add in this goat meat. The chef has to taste, isn't it? Nice and tasty. Not too hard because I want my little boys to eat. So the softness is good. It's nice and tasty and juicy, and that's how I like it. So I think this is it. Let me just check if there are any comments. Okay, I can't seem to be able to bring up the comments box. Okay, there are no more comments. No one is asking for any tips or explanations, so we are fine. All right, so I don't think I need to stay on here any longer. I've been on here for 53 minutes. Oh my goodness, that's long. So yeah, I would say this from this stage, it takes, I always allow it about 45 minutes and it cooks beautifully. So 30 minutes into it, I will come stir it, take off the parchment paper, and then I don't want too much steam in there, so I'll take it off and I will let it cook, add in the goat meat, and it will be nice and beautiful. So that's it. Thank you for joining me. I'll definitely take a photo. We will not be in a rush to eat. I'll take a photo and I'll share it with you as a post. All right. Thank you very much and catch up later in another video. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like this video. Thank you. Bye-bye.